200. Glad to have you with us under overcast skies, getting set for 147 laps, 200 miles. Green flag waves. We're underway. Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, John Kernan, and yours truly, Jerry Punch, with NASCAR racing from Darlington.
And the pole sitter, Jerry, had to go to the rear of the pack. Mark Martin was on the pole. That moved the white number 1 of Jeff Gordon up there, but Mark Martin was on the pole. He missed the driver's meeting and had to go to the rear.
Todd Bodine, the car number 34, the red car, white numeral on the right of your screen. Last week's winner. He's already won twice on the ESPN this year at Michigan and at Bristol, but it's Dale Earnhardt who makes a move inside. Earnhardt taking the second spot away, coming out of turn 4. Hut Strickland the leader. Earnhardt is second, and here is the car number 34 of Todd Bodine in third spot.
And right behind him is the car number 8 of Jeff Burton, the two that got together over at Bristol last week. They're just in reverse positions at the moment.
They are separated.
Moves up into third.
They are separated by the car number 1 of Jeff Gordon. That is the Baby Ruth Ford Thunderbird, a car that was so strong a week ago and apparently cut a tire and smacked the wall.
Earnhardt started in the 6th position, already up there to challenge for the lead. Of course, Hut Strickland in the car number 92 started 5th. He is already in the lead.
Hut Strickland driving the car owned by Mac Martin. 3 Chevrolets. Then comes the Ford, car number 1 of Jeff Gordon. Behind them, the car number 8. That's Jeff Burton, an Oldsmobile. Hut Strickland the leader. Dale Earnhardt in second spot. Now a challenge back for 5th. Jeff Burton looking to the inside of the Ford Thunderbird of Gordon. The cars nearly touch in turn 1.
Well, they got awfully close together. Gordon goes back to the inside, but I believe the number 8 car of Burton has the advantage coming off the turn, Jerry.
What an aggressive move by Jeff Burton from South Boston, Virginia. If you just joined us, we're in the early laps of the Gatorade 200, live from Darlington, South Carolina. Race scheduled for earlier today. We've had rain all morning. They were just able to get the track dry moments ago, and we came to bring you our live flag-to-flag coverage as Dale Earnhardt begins to make a move and takes a look inside of Hut Strickland.
Well, he just cut that car square left as he started off of turn 2, but he couldn't quite make the pass. But he is going to keep that pressure on. Strickland goes into turn 3 very hard, comes off to turn 4 in good shape.
Single file racing out of turn 4. This track 1 mile and 3/8.
And here's Todd Bodine on the inside of Earnhardt. The 8 car slips back there. Jeff Gordon goes on the inside of him, so Bodine takes over second.
Todd Bodine currently second in the points. And here comes Robert Presley, the driver who had a tremendous run back in the spring to win here. Look at Presley coming in a hurry.
He was a little bit disappointed with his qualifying, Jerry. He qualified in 8th position. I'm talking about Robert Presley, who did win here, beat Harry Gant on the last lap of the 200-miler back in the spring here at Darlington. Said his car was better than that 8th position. He's showing it. Here's a car that's good too, Todd Bodine.
This is the same car that Todd Bodine has used to win twice this year up at Nazareth and at Michigan, and he makes the move and takes the lead inside of Hut Strickland. Let's see if Earnhardt can make the move. Earnhardt downstairs. Up in turn 4, 23 degrees of banking, and Earnhardt will make it stick as he takes the second spot away.
He took advantage of the fact that Hut Strickland had to slow down a little bit going into that turn to get behind the car number 34 of Todd Bodine, and Earnhardt just moved right on around.
In the early laps, as Jeff Burton slips out, let's check in the pits with John Kernan.
Well, Jerry, you're talking about Todd Bodine. You know, this is only his 4th race here at Darlington. His previous 3, not too bad, taming the lady in black with a 3rd and 2 fifth-place finishes. I asked him, hey, what's the secret? He said, well, I just listen to what my brothers say. And, of course, big brother Jeff will be up spotting on top of the press box today, and hopefully Todd says he can lead him to victory lane again.
2 wins, 7 top 5s in the last 9 races. This young man has come from back in 10th in the points to currently be second, just 41 points behind our point leader, Joe Nemechek. Bodine the leader, then Earnhardt.
Here's Mark Martin coming up through the field. Remember, he had to go to the rear as a result of missing the driver's meeting. So did Jimmy Spencer. But Martin had a very fast car. Set a new track record in qualifying for this race. He wants to get back to the front.
And he is about a quarter of a lap behind the leaders that you see here headed into turn one. Bodine, Earnhardt, Strickland, then Jeff Gordon in the fourth.
Martin started in 34th position. He is already up to 18th position. Make that 17th now.
Strickland now trying to make a move inside of the Goodrich Chevrolet of Dale Earnhardt. Earnhardt takes the high road. Strickland has to think better of it, back out, and fall in single file. So Strickland back in third spot, then Gordon. Then comes the challenging Robert Presley. Now where's our points leader? There he is, Joe Nemechek, the Texas Pete Sausage Chevrolet. Started way back in 28th spot.
And Jerry, he hasn't improved a great. In fact, he's still in 28th spot. Hasn't improved a bit.
About a half a lap separation between Nemechek, our point leader, and the current leaders of the race back up front.
One thing they were concerned about, Gary, was tire wear here this afternoon. Even before it rained here all morning long, they were concerned about it. And certainly the rain didn't help the tire situation any. We'll keep our eye on that as Morgan Shepherd trying to move around the car number 29 of Phil Parsons. And he does make that pass. There's Harry Gann in car number 7 right behind Phil Parsons. The Max Race Cards Purex automobile. Phil has had some good runs in the few races he's run this year in the Busch Grand National Series. And here's Robert Presley trying to move on the inside of Jeff Burton.
That's a battle for fifth spot. The TIC Financial Oldsmobile of Jeff Burton, car number 8, the left of your screen. Behind him, another Oldsmobile, the Alliance Training Center's machine of Robert Presley. And Presley looks in his mirror and sees a big Citgo hood coming at him. That's Morgan Shepherd in the car number 21. As they are 5th, 6th, and 7th. Now Presley on the inside. That's exactly the same spot. He made the move to take the win back in March. If he can make it stick. Presley on the bottom of the track. Shepherd will follow him down low. And that's Jeff Burton up high as they head for turn 3.
Presley should have the advantage. He does have. He takes over the position. And right up in front of that, there was a good battle between Hutch Strickland and Dale Earnhardt going on. And Earnhardt took the position. And there's Jeff Gordon in the car number 1 trying to move on the outside of Dale Earnhardt. Hey, you can't do that, Jeff, not on this racetrack. Now, maybe he was just faking Earnhardt out. Gets Earnhardt to go high. Now Gordon moves to the inside. Good move.
And Gordon has only raced on this track 3 times, but he looks like a wily veteran as he is dicing it up with one of the best. 4-time Winston Cup champion Dale Earnhardt. Earnhardt on the high side. Gordon on the bottom of the track, and right behind him, waiting for a chance to make the pass, is Robert Presley.
I think Earnhardt knew that Jeff Gordon would back off going into turn 3. Normally, the car on the inside of the track has the advantage going into that turn, but Gordon did back off. Didn't want to take any chances early in the race. Here's Robert Presley now. Morgan Shepherd up on the outside. Presley trying to go on the inside. Presley on the move.
Presley gets in front of Shepherd. Shepherd slides high, and here comes Phil Parsons. That's the same car that Phil had that tremendous run at Michigan early in the year. Ended up getting an 11th place finish, but ran in the top 5 most of the afternoon. Shepherd slides high once again. Harry Gant, the car number 7, goes by. Jeff Burton goes by. Dale Jarrett's going by.
Here comes Martin. Martin has already caught that lead pack of cars. Boy, he is coming up through the field.
As you said, Ned, Martin Mark with a brand new track record broke the record he set back in the spring by almost a half a mile an hour. The car number 18, that's Dale Jarrett, and that's Mark Martin as they are headed toward the front. The car they're chasing, it's the car number 34, this one right here. Todd Bodine in the Hungry Jack Chevrolet. We'll be back with more live racing from Darlington Raceway. After this, stay with us. In the early laps, just 20 laps complete, and Todd Bodine is pulling away. Young man who won a week ago in Bristol, Tennessee, also won up in Michigan on ESPN, but here's the battle back in the pack. Robert Presley, the winner here in the spring, trying to hold off the challenge of the Ford driver, Jeff Gordon.
And Mark Martin has already caught those leaders. Jerry, he has moved into the 5th position now. Here's Bobby Labonte, the current Busch Grand National champion, and unscheduled pit stop on the Slim Jim Oldsmobile. And he goes back out. That's a Lumen. It's not an Oldsmobile. John Kernan, you have a flat?
That's exactly right. He had to come in and pit because he felt he had a tire going down. And here at Darlington, you don't want to push your luck too long. You get a vibration in the car and you think it's a flat tire. You better come in, because if not, you'll wind up in the wall with a wrecked race car.
Bobby Labonte getting back up to speed, but one car who has been up to speed since the beginning of the green flag is that one, Todd Bodine. But I am sure his crew chief, Clive McLeod, has said this car is coming in a hurry, Ned.
Yes, and that car that he's talking about is the Winn-Dixie Ford of Mark Martin, who started in the rear. And they say this track's tough to pass on, Jerry. It is, but it hasn't been for Mark Martin. He has just caught him, passed him wherever he caught him, and just has been zipping around this racetrack. Amazing, his run up through the field.
He just inhaled Shauna Robinson there in the car number 25. Mark Martin is absolutely clicking them off one by one. Robert Presley is running awfully well on the right of your screen, but Martin is pulling away. Now remember, we told you that it was raining all morning here. This race is scheduled to go at 1 o'clock today. We went live just moments ago at 4:15 p.m. Our live coverage of the Gatorade 200. Now, because it was raining this morning, they held a driver's meeting. Mark Martin was one of the 3 drivers unable to attend the meeting, and thus he was put back at the rear of the field. But that was 24 laps ago. Right now, he's being shown in 3rd position.
Hut Strickland running in 2nd place, and you can see Hut right there in the Stanley Tools car number 92. That's the 2nd and 3rd place cars you're seeing on the screen, and Martin coming in a hurry to mow down Hut Strickland, but you don't see the car 34 of Todd Bodine in front of Strickland. He's way out in front of Strickland.
There's Hut Strickland. We're going to show you the car they're chasing. That is Todd Bodine. And Todd isn't doing very badly himself. That Hungry Jack Chevrolet is pulling away. But let's watch and see if Martin has any trouble at all with Strickland. He has caught him now from about 8 car lengths a half a lap ago. He has narrowed it down to 3. Make it 2. And now he's a car length away.
Look at how he comes off of that turn, Jerry. Coming off of turn 2, he just moves to the inside, presses the accelerator on that Ford, and he'll beat him into turn 3. Now, the last time around, Hut Strickland was 5 and 8/10 seconds behind the car number 34 of Todd Bodine. We'll do an interval here and just see how far he is ahead of Mark Martin now that he has gotten into 2nd, and see if he's able to gain any on the leader.
Well, it was 8.5 seconds. It's a little over 6 seconds now, so almost 2 seconds a lap. So you figure 3 or 4 laps, he should be able to catch him.
If I said 8.5, Jerry, it's 5.8 seconds the last time that Todd Bodine was behind. So if I said 8.5, I was wrong. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that and see if Martin is gaining any now, but they're both out in clear running.
We'll check it this time by and see the interval between Todd Bodine. That's the red car. Coming out of turn 4, the black car with the white number 60 on the side. That is Mark Martin. Not the same.
Yeah, I tell you, Todd Bodine is really running. There's no doubt about it.
We talked about how critical tire wear might be. You have to wonder a little bit, as hard as Mark Martin ran that Ford in the first 27 laps, if he may have abused the tires a little bit.
I think there's a definite possibility he did, Jerry, because he was having to pinch the car down on the low side occasionally to get back cars. He ran it up high wherever he needed to run, and he was running so hard. Benny, it had to be tough on those tires.
Ned, I talked to Joe Nemechek, and they told me they tried their best to punish the right front during practice, and they put about 100 laps on it, and they wore 1/2 30-second off the right front. They feel like the tires are indestructible.
Well, that's a little different from some others that we talked to. How about it, John Kernan?
Well, Ned, I've just talked to Sammy Houston, who is Mark Martin's crew chief. He says he and Martin have been talking on the radio, and the tires feel fine. In fact, his lap times haven't fallen off quite that much, and he's still pushing it.
Well, that's good, because we were told yesterday that they were concerned about the tires, and the lap times did fall off some, but maybe the rain has helped that situation.
Mark Martin finished 32nd here in March, but that's deceiving. He sat on the pole here in March and took off and led the first 36 laps until he had an oil line come off, and then he had to park it. So right now, he is on his way to the front. 29 laps in the books of 147, which comprise the Gatorade 200. Back with more Busch Series action from Darlington after this. We welcome you back to Darlington International Raceway for the NASCAR Busch Series Gatorade 200. Todd Bodine, 28 years of age, the youngest brother of the Bodine brothers. Leading up front, here's a battle among 2 Winston Cup veterans, Morgan Shepherd, and nearly a lap ago, Dan Morgan almost off the wall.
Yes, he did. He got out of shape and almost into the wall up in between turns 3 and 4, but he got it straightened out and caught Dale Earnhardt, passed him, and now Jimmy Spencer has come from the rear of the pack. And that Davis first aid car number 20, and look how high Earnhardt's going. His car seems to be pushing very high in the turns, Jerry. He's going backwards now. He was up there fighting for the lead in the early part of this race, but now he's back, what, about 12th place or so.
That's the same car Earnhardt used to win this race a year ago, last fall. The Tony Eury, Rick Moss prepared machine. As you see the left of your screen, the car number 20 is Jimmy Spencer pulling away. Side-by-side action here. Rick Mast from the Skoll Oldsmobile on the inside. The Pennzoil Pontiac of Michael Waltrip, and right behind him is Dale Jarrett. Jarrett, a former two-time winner here. Last year in this fall race, the car number 30, that same car number 30, Michael Waltrip finished second to Dale Earnhardt.
There's Morgan Shepherd now. He has caught Jarrett after he got around Earnhardt. And try to make a move down on the inside. And he does as he come off the turn. Jarrett's car seems to be pushing a little bit as well.
They are in 10th and 11th position. Pardon me. They're in 10th and 11th spot right now. And both those cars, drivers would probably like to be able to get a caution flight to get a pit stop and make some adjustments. They have had a tire rule here that we're going to put into effect prior to the rain today. Here's one car already on pit road. That is Bill Elliott. His first Busch Series event at Darlington.
Of course, this is the car out of the Dawsonville shops, out of the Melling shops, sponsored by Budweiser. Ernie Elliott builds the engines for this, the V6 engines for this car. Here's Todd Bodine. Boy, he's driving very aggressive. Goes on the inside of the car number 9, which is being driven.
That's Andy Belmont driving the Barry Owen racing machine, but Todd Bodine can see the car number 60, the Winn-Dixie car of Mark Martin coming behind him. There's about a 6-second differential. We went to commercial a minute ago, and you can see the differential right there, about 10 car lengths.
He is definitely moving in on him, Jerry. Bodine has sort of punished his tires as well. He has been running very hard out front. Benny Parsons?
Ned, I'm telling you something. Joe Nemechek needs for Mark Martin and Todd Bodine to have a heck of a race, because he's only about 7-8 seconds from being lapped. If Mark Martin blows right by Todd Bodine, he'll have our point leader, Joe Nemechek, lapped at just a few laps. And we know how tough it is to come from a lap down to win a race or even get any points. Joe Nemechek in serious trouble.
Well, I don't think Mark Martin's going to wait. He's not waiting on anybody. Moves around, takes the lead. Now they're putting a lap on the former champion of the Busch Series, Chuck Bowen.
The 1990 Series champion Chuck Bowen gets a lap down for finishing second last week at Bristol. And Mark Martin, who was frustrated by his performance here in the spring when he had that oil line come off after leading the first 36 laps, goes from shotgun to take the lead in 38 laps. Here's the car number 87. You heard Benny Parsons speaking about a moment ago. That's Joe Nemechek. His Texas Pete Chevrolet. It's a brand new race car for Nemechek, and the car slips and slides very loose in the corner. Nemechek up in the outside groove about 4 feet from that concrete wall. Full interval between him and the leader, which is rapidly approaching Mark Martin. And there's Mark Martin with Todd Bodine in tow coming out of turn 4.
The next car up in front of them is Tommy Houston, the next car that they would be lapping. Houston currently being shown in the 25th position, so there are 25 cars on the lead lap.
Car number 92 back in third spot. That's the Stanley Tool Chevrolet of Hut Strickland. Back in fourth spot, Robert Presley. Fifth is Jeff Gordon, and sixth would be Harry Gant. Harry Gant, the winningest driver in Busch competition here at Darlington, having 4 victories in the 19 events they've run to date.
And you can't count him out of this race today, even though he's pretty far behind Mark Martin and Todd Bodine. He has steadily come up through the pack. He dropped back to about 10th or 12th on the start of the race, Jerry, but he has gradually moved back up through there.
There's Hut Strickland, the Stanley Tool Chevrolet, the Mac Martin on machine. Behind him, Robert Presley. There's Hut.
Drives the Ray Bestis Ford in the NASCAR Western Cup Series.
31 years of age from Calera, Alabama. Finished 9th here back in the spring. Average speed here in qualifying right at 160 miles an hour. What kind of speeds are we talking about here, Ned, on the straightaway?
They would be running well over 170 miles an hour, Jerry, perhaps 175 on the straightaways here. These cars don't have to slow down quite as much in the turns as the heavier Winston Cup cars.
Talking about Darlington Raceway, it's an egg-shaped oval, back 25 degrees in turns 1 and 2. They're currently in turns 3 and 4, 23 degrees. And And we're going to interval up and show you the lead car. That, of course, is Mark Martin's car number 60. 43 laps complete. And Mark Martin has brought his Winn-Dixie Ford Thunderbird from shotgun to the lead. 33-year-old Batesville, Arkansas driver trying to hold on and get win number 1 at Darlington. Back in a moment. We welcome you back to Darlington, South Carolina, the NASCAR Busch Series Gatorade 200 underway. 46 laps to complete. And Mark Martin is our leader. There's Mark Martin, setting a new track record in qualifying on this very demanding egg-shaped oval. The granddaddy of all super speedways, built way back in 1950.
And the man who built this racetrack, Harold Brasington, will be inducted into the National Motorsports Press Association Hall of Fame tonight.
Harold Brasington went to Indianapolis Motor Speedway in 1933 and saw 100,000 folks watching these exotic race cars and said, why couldn't that happen in my hometown in Darlington?
So he came out here in a peanut patch and built this racetrack.
Harold came on back and you said in Sherman Ramsey's Peanut Field, what they called Harold's Folly. We'll show you the track that Harold built in 1949 and 50. It's sort of an egg-shaped oval. Turns 1 and 2 banked at 25 degrees. Turns 3 and 4 at 23 degrees. 1.366 miles, a mile and 3/8. The pole speed, that's the record, 159.652. Field separation, 14.7 miles per hour.
And of course, also being inducted into the Hall of Fame tonight is Ralph Seagraves, who brought Winston into NASCAR Winston Cup racing. Here's Rick Mast. Well, he has been on the move, Jerry.
Many believe that next to Mark Martin, Rick Mast may be the fastest car on the racetrack. Now, Rick started way back in 19th spot in the Skull Plastic Oldsmobile. Harry Gant trying to hook on to the back of Rick Mast. This is the car Rick owns himself.
And here he is moving on the inside of Jeff Gordon. They get awfully close coming off that turn. Look at the right front of the spoiler, the air dam on the front. Jerry, he has gotten into someone pretty early in this race. I noticed that a little bit earlier on the Skull Classic Oldsmobile of Rick Mast. Hasn't hurt the running of it, though. And here's Harry Gant now taking over the position from the car number 1 of Jeff Gordon as he begins to move back a little bit.
That would be 6th spot for Harry Gant. Rick Mast is currently in 5th. Rick Mast only his 7th Busch Series start in 1992. His best finish coming in the season opener, which you saw on ESPN at the Goodies 300 at Daytona. He finished 6th.
Jerry, there are a lot of race drivers out there that would love to see a caution flag because there's some ill-handling race cars out there, and as they heat those tires up, they handle that much worse. Dale Earnhardt is one of them. He had fought for the lead early in this race. Now he's not too far from going a lap down.
Well, they're just 23 laps away from the halfway point. Many of these drivers figuring they could at least go halfway on fuel, but as we said earlier, Ned, we heard from Benny Parsons and John Kernan down in the pits that tire wear could have been a factor, although they feel like the tires are wearing quite well right now. Record pace being set. The race record 136.3, and the average speed right now being set by that man 149.5 miles an hour, and that's quick.
Yeah, that's coming from the rear of the pack. What if he would have started up front? He might be averaging 155, close to his qualifying speed.
That's happened to pass 33 cars.
Yes. And here he is now moving in on the car number 98 of Jim Bowen.
Richard Lassiter on the inside. Lassiter had his best finish last week at Bristol, an 8th place finish in his Pontiac.
Jeff Purvis driving the car number 28. That's normally driven by Davey Allison.
And no question, no wonder is why Davey's not in that car. Of course, Davey running for the Winston Million here tomorrow in our live coverage of the Mountain Dew Southern 500. Here's Rick Mast in the car number 0, beginning to pull in somewhat on the 3rd place car of Hut Strickland. Rick Mast having a tremendous run early on in that car number 0. Let's check in the pits.
And Jerry Punch, every race car driver needs something like Rick Mast is having today. A great run. His car is flying. And 1992 really hasn't been that good to Rick Mast. He's not had any good finishes in his Winston Cup car, but he is feeling great out there today, and he's proven to us and to everyone watching this race, hey, I can still drive a race car.
He certainly can. He's doing it great. And coming into the pits is the 5th place car of Robert Presley, stopping early here. They go to work on the right side, changing those right side tires. Of course, they'll fill it up with gas. John Kernan is there.
And they're changing the right side tires, as you said. They're in about 21 laps earlier. He must not have liked the way the car was handled right there. He is down and away. But we were expecting them, as long as the race stayed green, most of the crew chiefs on pit road said they would go to about lap 75 before coming in and taking on 2 tires. So apparently Robert didn't quite like the way the car was handling.
Talking about shuffling the point standings, Robert Presley just made that pit stop, was 3rd in the overall standings behind Joe Nemechek and Todd Bodine. There's Dale Earnhardt in the car number 3. Bobby Labonte behind him in the 44, already having made an unscheduled stop.
And not too far behind was the car number 60 of Mark Martin. Earnhardt's about to go a lap down, Jerry.
And Earnhardt is not handling well at all. Something's wrong with the car. Let's check in with John Kernan. John?
You're exactly right, Jerry. Talking to Tony Ure, the crew chief, he says that the car is very, very loose. They are one of the teams you mentioned just a few moments ago. They would love to see a caution so they could come in, change tires, bump up the spoiler about 5 more degrees, and also make a chassis adjustment to try and tighten it up. And there is apparently Shauna Robinson, I see, spinning.
Caution is coming out right now, John.
Caution flag coming out for the first time as Shauna Robinson spins the Polaroid Oldsmobile down in turn 4.
Okay, there's going to be a race back to the flag. Well, maybe not. Mark Martin has slowed down. He's not racing Earnhardt back to the flag. He's going to let him stay in the lead lap. And it looks like Bobby Dotter is going to get a lap back.
And that's Bobby Dotter, you said that, the car number 08, the Mike Hillman prepared machine. He tries to go back there. Here comes Jim Bound in the car number 98. Mark Martin has wisely slowed down, and Bound is going to try to race him back to the flag. But Martin will hold Jim Bound a lap down. 57 laps complete, under caution for the first time today here at Darlington Raceway.
Jim Bound's running in the 19th position. So that means there are 18 cars that would be in the lead lap.
There's the reason for the caution. Shauna Robinson, 27-year-old Des Moines, Iowa young lady who was so impressive with the run in that car, the Don Beverly-owned Polaroid-sponsored Oldsmobile up in Michigan, the Super Speedway 2-mile facility in Jackson, Michigan, just a few weeks ago right here on ESPN. There's the caution flag, and now Ned, just as you had predicted, and John Kernan mentioned, a lot of these drivers are going to be anxious to get on pit road and have a chance to make some adjustments to those chassis. Take a look again at what happened here to Shauna Robinson.
Well, she's coming off on the inside, Jerry, and gets sideways down on the inside. Apparently the left tire's got down off of the banking a little bit, coming off of turn 4 and spinning around. And here comes Mark Martin into the pits. He'll lead a parade of cars down pit road. John Kernan will be there where Mark Martin will be coming in.
As they await Mark Martin's arrival on pit road, you see a lot of the Winston Cup guys from Mark's own crew and also from Wally Dallenbach Jr.'s crew, owned by Jack Roush. Mark will come in. It's going to be a 2-tire change. You know, I don't think I would turn a screw on this car as well as it's running. You're seeing Todd Bodine on the bottom, Martin on the top of your screen. Right side's going on, waiting to get the second can of fuel into the car as Mark's sitting patiently on pit road. Bodine also, the work going on in his pit. Waiting. Now they must be having a problem on the right rear tire. Bodine is down off the jack, headed down pit road. He will beat Martin out. Apparently, they're having a problem on the right side, guys. It's hard for me to see from this angle. Rick Matt is also out. Also Hut Strickland, and still they're waiting for Mark Martin to get out. They're having to come around to the right front tire, making sure that the lug nuts are tight on there. So all kinds of problems on Mark Martin's pit stop.
Well, he's going to have to come from the rear again. Apparently the air range malfunctioned or something. And now they've taken the tire back off of that car, John. So I don't know what's going on there. But long pit stop for Mark Martin.
That's Steve Mills, who is Mark Martin's crew chief in the Winston Cup Jack Roush car. And once again, Mark Martin is going to have his work cut out for him as he will go to the rear of the field and try to pass 33 cars to head back to the front. We'll watch all the exciting action back at Darlington after this. We welcome you back to Darlington, South Carolina. There's the car that was the leader that this until a moment ago under caution when he made a pit stop. And what kind of bad luck does Mark Martin have here? Not one air wrench, but Ned, both air wrenches broke during that pit stop.
Unbelievable. Now he is back in the 16th position. Not as far back as he was at the start of this race, Jerry, so he doesn't have as many cars to pass. Now, maybe after some came in and got new tires and got adjustments, they might be a little bit harder to pass this time than before.
Maybe you'll have better luck tomorrow. Mark Martin will start way back in 25th spot tomorrow in the Valvoline Ford as we get set for the Winston Million Chase. The 42nd annual Mountain Dew Southern 500 coming your way live at 1 p.m. tomorrow from right here at at the granddaddy of all super speedways. Can Davey Allison win the $1 million bonus from Winston for winning 3 of the 4 big ones on the year? We'll find out at 1 o'clock tomorrow as Bob Jenkins and all our Speed World crew will be on hand to bring you flag-to-flag coverage.
Jerry, as we get ready to go back to green flag racing here in the Gatorade 200, we see Joe Nemechek, the point leader, in 5th place. He had an excellent pit stop. He was about to go a lap down before the caution came out, so it was a big break for him. But how many tires did he put on Vivo to get out in 5th place? How much will it affect him? The green flag ways, we'll see.
Pit stops like that can save you a champion. They scatter out 3 wide here on the restart.
We say it was a good break for him. It was a tough break for Robert Presley, who had just made a green flag pit stop not long before that. Robert finds himself a lap down.
He is back in 19th position. Talking about Robert Presley, there's the car number 59.
His 3rd place on the racetrack, but there are 18 cars on the lead lap. He'd like to get up there and pass those 2 front cars, but they are tough.
And Dale Earnhardt, we heard moments ago, was not handling well. And apparently they have made an adjustment on that Goodwrench Chevrolet as he slides beneath Tommy Houston and begins to move in on a whole group of cars, sliding to the inside of Ward Burton. He moves in front of Burton. Burton jams on the brakes, and now right in front of Earnhardt.
3 wide there for a moment, and Jimmy Spencer just clips the car number 75 of
Butch Miller.
Butch Miller there, and Miller got into the wall a little bit, Jerry.
Butch Miller, who had finished 3rd here in the spring in that car, becoming a victim there of apparently Jimmy Spencer's car getting up a little high. Now Dale Earnhardt inside of Spencer up in turns 3 and 4. They're 2 by 2. In front of them is Dale Jarrett and Jeff Gordon. Jarrett in the car number 18. That's the green car. The white car, Lady Ruth sponsored machine, is Jeff Gordon.
And here is Robert Presley now trying to get back in the lead lap. He's passing one of the fastest cars on the racetrack, Todd Bodine. And he does get back in the lead lap.
Now Robert Presley would like to have a caution flag. Remember, he won that race here in the spring. The first of 3 events he won this year in that same race car. A Banjo Matthews prepared Oldsmobile. Moments ago here in turn 1, watch this close call for Butch Miller. He's sliding up already. Watch Spencer's car number 20.
He just goes up and clips him a little bit, and then Miller goes up into the wall. He was already headed that way, but I don't believe he had got into the wall. Spencer hadn't hit him. And look at Harry Gant coming on the inside of Rick Mast and trying to take over the lead from Todd Bodine. Harry Gant normally don't drive that aggressive this early in the race, Jerry, but he's on it.
Harry Gant trying to get his first Speedway victory of the 1992 season. Let's check in the pits with Vinnie Parsons.
Hey, guys, there's only about 10 laps to the halfway point, and this has been sprinkling for about the last 10, 15 laps down here. This race could be shortened by rain, and Harry Gant wants to be in position to win this baby. He knows this thing might be about over.
I'll tell you one thing that's helping him, Benny. He took on 4 tires during that pit stop. I don't think Todd Bodine took on but 2. And I believe that's making a big difference. There are a number of cars that took on 4 tires. Dale Jarrett took on 4 tires, and I think that's helping him. Several of them that did take on 4, I think is working to their advantage right now.
Harry Gant, 4 wins. Winningest driver here in Busch Series competition of the 19 events that have been held here since 1982. He has won 4 times. In fact, he won this race, the Gatorade 200, 3 years in a row, 87, 88, and 89. Remember the Mr. September string he had a year ago, starting with the Winston Cup event here. Harry Gant won the Southern 500 on to win 4 in a row. That win streak ending at Wilkesboro Speedway when he had brake problems in the final few laps. Let's check in the pits once again.
Jerry, the 60 car has made some contact with the wall. Mark Martin has made a little bit of contact. I don't know if it's going to knock any sheet metal in or not. But also, Ned, to add to what you were saying just a moment ago, Todd Bodine, Joe Nemechek, both those cars did, in fact, change 2 tires. And that's one reason I guess Harry Gant and all those guys are going, see ya.
Yeah, I think it's making a difference.
Here's a good battle between Todd Bodine and his Chevrolet and the Oldsmobile of Rick Mast. They're battling for 2nd and 3rd spot.
2nd position. Mast was right up there before that pit stop. Of course, Bodine was as well. Bodine led the early part of this race, but now Mast wants to take over that 2nd position. Does he have enough going into the turn? Yep, just zipped right on by. Bodine wisely backs off going into the turn. So Mast takes over 2nd. Bodine is 3rd. In 4th place now is Phil Parsons.
Good battle back here between the car number 30, Michael Waltrip. That's the yellow Pennzoil machine behind him.
Well, Michael Waltrip just took over the 4th position from the number 29 of Phil Parsons. Here goes Jarrett taking over the 5th position. And Morgan Shepherd coming around. So is the car number 1 of Jeff Gordon and Spencer in the car number 20. Boy, they are really jockeying around for position.
Great racing here at Darlington Raceway, the mile and 3/8. Todd Bodine slides up a little bit high, and Dale Jarrett makes the move by.
Boy, I think those 2 tires is really hurting Todd Bodine right now. These others took on 4 tires, and they are moving up through the pack, Benny.
Hey, Ned, but the problem is that's the last time that these guys can change 4 tires.
Okay.
Under the NASCAR rules today, they can only change the left sides 1 time. So the next time if there's a caution flag 30, 40 laps now, if this thing goes green flag, and then Todd Bodine, Phil Parsons, Joe Nemechek come in and change 4 tires, maybe they'll blow by Harry again. Could be good strategy on their part if it doesn't rain.
Yep, that's a very good point. And here's Rick Mast now. He was up there and had taken over second a little bit earlier. Did he just take on 2 of these guys with the 4 tires come blowing by him? Could be. Michael Waltrip has taken over the 2nd position. Those 2 white cars sort of got together there, Jerry.
Morgan Shepherd getting a little bit of contact with Jeff Gordon. Gordon in the car number 1, Shepherd in the 21. And here's Jimmy Spencer. They make it 3 wide down the backstretch. Spencer and Rick Mast having their own little private battle in turn 3. But Gordon has pulled away, and so is Morgan Shepherd. There's Shepherd in the car number 21. Jeff Gordon behind him.
And Jared is moving around. Michael Waltrip taking over 2nd position now. Harry Gant is the leader. He's far out in front of the 2nd place car. And there he is going back around Robert Presley, putting him a lap down once again.
We are 2 laps away from the halfway point here in the Gatorade 200 as Harry Gant has put the Mack Tools Buick at the front of the field. 73 complete. Back with more at Darlington after this. Stay with us. Back at Darlington Raceway for the Gatorade 200, just past the halfway point as Harry Gant goes by Ricky Craven, one of the rookie drivers on the Busch Series Tour. Gant, our leader, back in 2nd spot. Dale Jarrett has taken the position away. Michael Waltrip is 3rd. Morgan Shepherd 4th. And Jeff Gordon in 5th position.
Here's a battle for 4th as Jeff Gordon now tries to take over 4th and does from Morgan Shepherd. Those 2 forward race side by side going into turn 3. Gordon got the best of Shepherd. Here's Jimmy Spencer back there in the right of your screen trying to take over the position from Morgan now.
That's a battle for 5th. You see 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th all right together. That's Dale Jarrett, Waltrip, then Gordon, Shepherd, and Spencer.
There you see 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th position.
Harry Gant is about a straightaway ahead of these cars as they enter turn 3. Gant is coming out of turn 4 down the front stretch.
Yeah, he's about 8 seconds ahead of this group of cars, Jerry, just sitting out there cruising while these guys back there race.
Jeff Gordon looks to the inside of Michael Waltrip's Pontiac. We'll see if Gordon can make the move stick in turn 1. A 1-groove track. Gordon tries to hold the inside. Michael slips up, and they're door to door.
And Gordon takes the position.
Now Waltrip has a mirror full of the car number 21 of Morgan Shepherd. They are 4th, 5th, and 6th. There comes the first 8 Oldsmobile. The Nick Moroso-owned car.
He's been trying to move around Morgan Shepherd, but just hasn't been able to do it. Now Shepherd goes a little bit high, gives Spencer, well, not enough room. Now Gordon up there working on Jarrett as they move around a couple of lap cars.
Dale Jarrett, a 2-time winner here at Darlington. As he
boy, did they get close. In fact, they got too close. They touched a little bit. Gordon ran in there very quick, which he should do, and Jarrett had to back off for the lap car of Ricky Craven. And he had to back off a little bit, and they touched. And Phil Parsons in the pits, an unscheduled pit stop, John Kernan.
They have worked around on the right side. They're coming around to change all 4 tires. Apparently, Phil doesn't look like he's blistered any of the tires. He probably felt a vibration. He wasn't quite sure which one. He's only changed 2 before, so he can change all 4 right now. Here come the leaders. Harry Gant out of turn 4 and down pit road. Phil will go a lap down. Very disappointing for him after having such a great run in this car a few weeks ago at Michigan.
And he was having a good run here today as well, but those 4 tires should really let him zip around this racetrack once he gets back out there. The car number 31 of Steve Grissom just went a lap down, and Hut Strickland, one of the early leaders of the race, coming into the pits as well. And here is Jeff Gordon taking over second, Jerry.
Battle for second spot. Jeff Gordon slides to the inside. Here is Michael Waltrip in the Pennzoil Pontiac to the inside. Dale Jarrett now sliding back a little bit as Waltrip slides up a little bit high. Now, moments ago, remember, Dale Jarrett had to get on the brakes to keep from running into the back of Ricky Craven. He was tagged gently from behind by the car number 1 of Jeff Gordon. And the car number 18 has lost a couple of spots. Remember, Phil Parsons in the pits moments ago. Let's check in once again with John Kernan.
Jerry, remember I said they changed only right side tires on that last pit stop? Well, this is the left front tire. I spoke a little bit too soon. Worn down to the cord. Some of the teams who changed only 2 tires on the last stop are going to have to be very, very concerned about this, because that is just worn out.
Wow.
Indeed, significant tire wear, as many of the teams were worried about here in practice yesterday, and rains last night made it a very green racetrack, which is a very abrasive racetrack. Our AutoZone race summary: Harry Gant, the leader, has led 15 of the 80 laps. 1 caution flag for 4 laps. There have been 4 different leaders and 5 lead changes. Average speed 138.37 miles per hour. Lap leaders: Todd Bodine, Mark Martin, Harry Gant, and Hut Strickland. Out of the race, 1 driver, Bill Elliott. I think I mentioned this was Bill's first start in Busch Series competition. Actually, he ran the race here back in the spring or fall of '87, and he finished in 19th spot. This would have been his second start here today.
Here's the battle. Dale Jarrett running in the 4th position, and Morgan Shepherd and Jimmy Spencer have caught him. Jarrett's car seems to work well on 4 fresh tires, but after they run a little while, it seems to push up in the corners a little bit for him.
That's 4th, 5th, and 6th. Dale Jarrett, Morgan Shepherd, Jimmy Spencer.
Jeff Purvis was just in the pits for a change of left side tires on the Haviland Ford, the Baby Allison car.
Here's the car that was the early leader, Todd Bodine. And he certainly is not running nearly as well as he was before. Now being shown back in the 16th position, still on the lead lap, but he is the last car on the lead lap. Benny Parsons, what's his problem?
Jerry Punch, I'm telling you, Todd Bodine's fortunes have really changed, haven't they? Because he was running so good leading the race. They came in the pits, they changed right sides. I talked to Clyde McLeod, the right and rear, they just can't get the thing to hook up. The car very loose around the racetrack. Todd trying to stay in the lead lap and hope to get a caution flag.
Well, he's not going to stay in the lead, Benny, because Harry Gant just went around him and put him a lap down.
Amazing how quickly things can change here, Ned.
Yeah, and I think the big difference is those that put on 4 tires and those that only put on 2 tires. Because not only did, you don't have the advantage of the left side tires hooking up, but with them not hooking up, it puts more abuse on the right side tires. So, and now Todd Bodine is coming into the pits. He said, "I've taken all of this that I can take. I've got to get the car in here before we wreck it."
He has no choice. The Chevrolet Lumina comes to a halt, and Benny Parsons is there. Benny?
They're talking about changing 4 tires on this Hungry Jack automobile. The right sides are going on. They've got the left ready. In Busch Grand National Racing, you can't take the left sides off with another air wrench. They can only use 2 wrenches. So they come around, had a little bit of trouble with the jack. Now the jack's under the car. It's going up. And now then their left sides are going on. There is a slow car on the backstretch that could bring out a caution flag. Wouldn't that be terrible if that should happen? They finally have 4 tires changed, and away goes Todd Bodine.
Now there's Todd Bodine off the jack. You're talking about the Richard Lassiter car moving on the apron up between turns 3 and 4. Bodine, after a 4-tire change, lost a lot of valuable time in the pits in the Hungry Jack Chevrolet. And remember, this point battle really, really tight with just 7 events remaining in the Busch Series Tour for 1992. Harrigan, our leader. Pit stops should be coming up momentarily. We have those in a moment at Darlington. Stay with us. We Welcome you back to Darlington, South Carolina. Harry Gant going by the car of Joe Nemechek, who had just come off of pit road. Nemechek, one of a number of cars, a handful that have been on pit road moments ago. Mark Martin was in the car number 60 in the Winn-Dixie Ford Thunderbird. He made a pit stop. Rick Mast in car number 0 had come in for a pit stop.
Jeff Burton had to come in as well, but Nemechek had more problems than tires, Jerry. They raised the hood on his Texas Pete Sauce's Chevrolet, and there was steam coming from it, so I don't know if he'll be back in or not.
Let's check in with Benny Parsons. Benny?
Jerry, believe it or not, Nemechek ran out of gasoline. That's what they were doing when they raised the hood, was squirting ether in the carburetor, starting fluid in the carburetor, and finally they got the car started, and he went back on the racetrack. I asked Vic Gang, the crew chief, what in the world is wrong? He said, evidently the pickup is not in the right spot because we had it full of gas, but we can't get what's in the gas tank. So I guess he'll be back in probably back in pretty soon again. John Curtin, anything going on your end?
Well, Benny, you're talking about fuel mileage and Nemechek running out of gas. Guess what, guys? Harry Gant expects to go the rest of the distance on fuel. But the key, talking with Chris Carrier, the right side tires. They did change 4 tires, but Chris says they don't know if they'll have to come in late in the race and take on right side tires or not. Harry will make that call out on the racetrack.
Well, John, he's still running very good. You remember a while back when we were watching Michael Waltrip and Jeff Gordon racing back there for second position, and they were back in 8th position. 8 seconds behind him. Jeff Gordon has cut it down to about 5.5 seconds now, so he is definitely catching Harry Gant.
Still lots of laps remaining. In fact, 51 laps to go. We are 96 laps into this 147 lap event. Harry Gant will have a ways to go if he's going to make it the rest of the way on fuel and tires. Here's Dale Jarrett, the Interstate Batteries Chevrolet, DAJ Racing Machines. They begin to move in on the car number 38. That's Kenny Wallace. 36, I should say, Kenny Wallace. Jimmy Spencer following Dale Jarrett by.
That's his fourth car. Spencer finally did get around Morgan Shepherd. Shepherd's still running in the 6th position, but he dropped back from this pack of cars that he was in a little bit earlier.
These 2 cars being in 4th and 5th spot.
There's Michael Waltrip, the yellow car, the Pennzoil Pontiac, who is currently in 3rd position. So it's Harry Gant in the lead, Jeff Gordon 2nd, Michael Waltrip 3rd, Dale Jarrett 4th, Jimmy Spencer 5th, and Morgan Shepherd in the 6th place. 7th is Dale Earnhardt.
Spencer trying to make a move inside of Dale Jarrett. Pretty good crowd on hand, given the fact we had inclement weather all morning. Torrential rains here in the South Carolina area throughout the morning. This race was supposed to start at 1 o'clock today. We were able to drop the green flag at 4:15, and you saw the green flag live, and you have seen every lap since on our ESPN Speed World coverage. Glad to have you with us. Benny Parsons, John Curtin, Ned Jarrett, and yours truly, Jerry Punch, bringing you live NASCAR Busch Grand National Series action from the granddaddy of all super speedways here in Darlington. Whoa, Jimmy Spencer has a handful of steering wheel. Car slipping and sliding out of turn 4. He was able to gather it back in, but lost about 4 or 5 car lengths to Dale Jarrett.
And Jerry, I went back through 6th position. Dale Earnhardt running there. Running 7th, having a very good run today, is Ed Barrier from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, in the Grease Lightning Oldsmobile. He had started pretty far back in the pack, but he has come up through there. In fact, he started 21st, but now running in the 7th position. Tracy Leslie is currently in 8th position. Ward Burton 9th, and in 10th place is being shown Robert Presley, but he is 1 lap down. So now there are only 9 cars on the lead lap.
Jimmy Spencer there in the car number 20, a 2-time winner in 1992, both on the short tracks. He used this car he's driving today to win just down the road about an hour at Myrtle Beach Speedway, and he also won at Orange County, so both of the short track wins. Here's Harry Gant, our leader, in the car number 7. Here comes Mark Martin in the car number 60, trying to make a pass on the inside. Now Martin is 1 lap down in 14th position, so now he unlaps himself and will be on the tail end of the lead lap.
And his car in the wall, he might have just got it in time. Let's see if there's going to be a caution. We understand that Jeff Burton maybe got into the wall, but no caution yet.
Burton is the car number 8, the black car there on your screen, the Phil Martasio machine. He's trying to get to the inside. In fact, he pulls down in front of Jimmy Spencer. Spencer, seeing that Burton's in trouble, moving to the high side. There's Jeff Burton.
So no caution, but that's those new tires that Mark Martin has. We mentioned that he made a pit stop during the commercial break. Boy, just let him take off.
Here's the car number 8, right behind the 87 of Nemechek. He gets a little bit of a Darlington stripe up there, they call it.
Yeah, he might, when he ran up on Nemechek, he might have got into the back of him just a little bit and slid up into the wall, but it didn't do too much damage to it. Jerry, as you said, just got him one of those Darlington stripes.
Jeff Burton, currently 10th in the point standings. One win this year, that one coming in New Hampshire. There's the fellow they're chasing, Harry Gant. 2 short track wins in 1992. Has not won on the Speedway. This is the same car he used last year to win at Charlotte and Dover, Delaware. So it's a pretty good race car out of the Ed Whitaker stable. Here's the car number 1, Jeff Gordon. The Bill Davison Baby Ruth sponsored Ford. 5.3 second interval between Harry Gant and Gordon.
Closing up just a little bit, Jerry.
44 laps remain here in the Gatorade 200 at Darlington, South Carolina. Live NASCAR Busch Series racing action coming your way. More after this. Stay with me. Raceway. Back at Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina. Good crowd on hand. They have persevered. Some harsh rain showers in the area this morning. The clouds have moved away. Partially overcast skies. Enjoying exciting Busch Grand National Series action. Harry Gant trying to pick up his first Speedway win. And here's our points leader, Joe Nemechek. Just came in moments ago for a tire change, and now they have the hood up working beneath it in the area of the carburetor.
Well, that could cost him as far as the points are concerned, even though Todd Bodine is not running the way he was earlier. Todd Bodine is in 16th position. Vinny, what's going on with Nemechek now?
Ned, evidently they had a piece of trash in the carburetor in one of the floats, and the float was hanging open, which would allow just raw fuel to dump in the engine. They've adjusted on the floats, and now it seems to be running okay. They're putting the air cleaner back on, but he has lost valuable time. I don't know how many laps he's lost, but it must be 4 or 5 laps.
Joe Nemechek still sitting in the pit. Remember, he has started 5 events, making 6 today, and only has 1 top 10 finish, and apparently will not get a top 10 finish today. So a tough break for our points leader. Just 41 points separating him from Todd Bodine. But the real game today could come in Robert Presley's camp, who currently is being shown in 11th spot.
Nemechek being shown 7 laps down now.
Here's Ed Barrier in the Grease Lightning, car number 22. That's a
He's just taken over 6th position from Dale Earnhardt.
good run for Barrier. Only his 6th Busch Grand National start of the year. You may ask what Grease Lightning is. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a movie or something. It's actually a multi-purpose hand cleaner. It's one of the sponsors on that car that he built himself. He and his dad, Max, a legend on the open wheel modified race for many years. There's Dale Earnhardt in the car number 3. There's Barrier.
I said 6th position. That's 7th position. He has taken over. Earnhardt now dropped back to the 8th position.
Ed Barrier said he had a very strong Ronnie Burnett engine in that car. Burnett out of Burlington. Had a pretty good race last week at Bristol, Tennessee. Right behind him, the car number 3, Dale Earnhardt. Remember, the car number 8, Jeff Burton, had tagged the wall earlier, had a little bit of sheet metal damage. He made a pit stop moments ago, got some fresh tires, and you see the result of that fresh rubber as he moves to the inside of Dale Earnhardt. Let's check in with John Kernan.
Jerry, Jeff Burton came down pit road, put on right side tires. There really wasn't anything wrong. They just wanted to be very, very cautious that he didn't have one going flat and wind up in the wall. So instead of staying out there and possibly wrecking their car, they decided to play it safe, come in, take on 2 tires. And apparently everything's okay with the car. I thought they might have knocked it, the toe in out or something, but apparently not.
Jeff Burton apparently running up to speed. The car appears to be performing flawlessly here. His only problem is he just has lost quite a bit of distance and about 3 laps to the leaders.
He's being shown in 20th position right now.
Moving now in on Ed Barrier, car number 22, currently in 7th position.
Just went around Jimmy Spencer, who is about to come into the pit. Spencer running into 6th position. And he was dropping back a little bit. Morgan Shepherd had gotten around Spencer. He almost got into the wall one time there when he was battling with Dale Jarrett, but now coming in for what should be his last pit stop.
Mark Reno in the crew standing by to service that first aid Oldsmobile. The Bob Rinaldi engine. They will change right side tires, clean the windshield. We said Spencer already a 2-time winner this year in Busch competition. Ran his Winston Cup car last week.
Robert Presley's in the wall, Jerry. He came all the way through turn 4, right up against the outside wall. He now is down off the wall. He wasn't hitting it very hard, but he was scraping the wall all the way around turn 4 up there, and he has slowed down to the inside of the track. Now, they're checking the NASCAR officials to see if there was any debris that came off of the car. Still under green flag conditions here, but Presley going very slow.
Well, we thought he might gain some points. He was currently in third position in points and was the top car among the top 5 in point standings, but now he has tagged the wall and trying to keep the car on the racetrack up in turns 3 and 4, but he will have to head to pit road. As Ricky Pearson, his crew chief, now awaits the Alliance Training Center's Oldsmobile of Robert Presley, our winner here in March on that daring last lap move, but now he's had troubles and he heads down pit road.
John Kernan is down in his area.
They're still awaiting Robert Presley as he comes down. He's pitted all the way down here toward the exit of pit road. There'll be a 4-tire change. He's also got a couple of hammers out. Apparently they're going to have to beat away some of that sheet metal. So Presley is in, changing 4 tires, and he's going to lose a lot of valuable time in the pit.
Clock still running on Presley's pit stop. They will change all 4 tires. Owen Edwards, Ricky Pearson, Eddie Pearson. That's Eddie Pearson on the right side. Those are both sons of the legendary David Pearson. Ricky changing the left front tire. Tire being rolled up to him.
And the yellow flag is out, Jerry. Tough break here for Robert Presley. The yellow flag is out. Debris on the racetrack.
31.6 seconds as the caution comes out here at Darlington. There's Harry Gant, our leader. Just 29 laps remaining in the Gatorade 200. And Harry Gant will lead him around to the caution flag for the second time today. There's the debris apparently coming off one of the cars, possibly the Robert Presley car. They had some contact earlier in the day. That'll set up about a 27 or 26 lap shootout. These final laps, there's Harry Gant, the Mac Tools Buick. There had to be a little bit of concern in Gant's pits about the fuel, and now with these caution flags, they've got to be enjoying possibly a little more relaxed atmosphere, knowing he may have a little bit of effort. But they are holding a pit board out as Ed Whitaker down in the Harry Gant pits holds the Mac Tools sign up. It looks like they're just either getting ready or possibly waiting for Harry if he should decide to come on pit road.
I think he'll come on pit road and take on those 2 right side tires. As Benny Parsons reported earlier, they cannot change the left side tires under the NASCAR rules that were in effect here today.
And here comes Harry Gant as he will head down pit road. John Kernan will be standing by, and John, Harry Gant moving very, very slowly down to the pits as he heads toward you.
It will be a 2-tire change, as Ned said. Yes, he will want to come in and change those right side tires. They were a little bit close on fuel, but they thought that it would be no problem to go the remaining distance of this race. But this is a welcome opportunity for Harry Gant. Jeff Gordon also in for a 2-tire change. He is on the bottom of the frame. Gant is on the top. Chris Carey and the crew working away on the right side. And let's go up to the 3rd place car, Michael Waltrip with Benny Parsons.
Michael Waltrip is in, John. He's changing right side tires, the only 2 tires that he can change legally under the caution flag. The car's down, he's away, and he and Dale Jarrett almost collide as they exit their pits.
Boy, some close calls on pit road. Harry Gant exiting now. Jeff Gordon behind him. It looks like he may have a wrench. He does.
Yep.
He has a ratchet wrench stuck in the right side rear window of that Baby Ruth Ford Thunderbird. The Bill Davis crew obviously making a chassis adjustment and weren't quite finished when Jeff decided to drop off and take and go.
He'll have to come in and get that taken out, Jerry, and that's really going to hurt him as far as track position is concerned. There are 9 cars in the lead lap, I believe. Well, right now we're only showing 7 on the screen. We'll check that out. But nevertheless, it's going to put him at the rear of those cars that are in the lead lap.
Now that ratchet goes down through a hole in the rear window into a spring area that actually will raise or lower the right rear of the car and adjust the weight on the right rear. And Michael Waltrip pulls up alongside and says, hey, you're carrying a little extra baggage there. He says, I'm aware of it, Michael, and probably pretty red-faced. And I'll head back down pit road, and Bill Davis and the crew will pull it out, and then I'm going to have my hands full as we get set for more racing action. John Kernan is back in their pits. John?
Jeff Gordon, before this caution had come out, radioed in and told Bill Davis that, hey, the car has really picked up a bad push. So they put on right side tires, and as you said, they went to make a chassis adjustment and left the ratchet in there. Now we're waiting for Jeff to get down here on pit road. He almost misses a pit as a tire from Butch Miller's car goes flying out on pit road. Now he went over the line in front. They're going to have to back it up. They've got the ratchet out, just looking over the tires. And Jeff Gordon is finally down and away.
Oh, Elton Sawyer and the crew working on the Jeff Gordon car. We're going to get set for a restart, and those final 25-lap shootout at Darlington Stay with us. Be back after this. Back at Darlington, here's what happened moments ago to Jeff Gordon, the miscue in the pitch. Watch the guy in the rear window. They're trying to change the weight in the rear of the car. Gordon begins to pull away, Ned, and he just couldn't catch the ratchet.
No, he wanted to catch that race car and take that ratchet out, but he couldn't catch it. The green flag waves.
Green flag back out.
Here's Michael Waltrip trying to move on the inside of Harry Gant. But that's Jimmy Spencer on the car number 20 up on the outside there. He didn't make a pit stop. He had just made one under green. He's a lap down. Now Harry does put him indeed a lap down.
23 laps remain here in the Gatorade 200. Almost all the leaders have been on pit road for fresh tires. Harry Gant assumes the point once again. Right behind him, Michael Waltrip, who finished second here last year in the Pennzoil Pontiac, and he goes high as Dale Jarrett will take the spot away in turn 4. Using all the racetrack, and now Jarrett has caught the rear of Gant's Mack Tools Buick.
Even though they only changed 2 tires on all of these cars, Jarrett's car seems to really work well on new tires.
Here is Dale Jarrett on the inside. The cars touch in turn 4. Jarrett's car slides. Gant tags the wall. Gant has slapped the wall coming out of turn 4. Has bent the sheet metal in against the tires. The field now trying to pass beneath Harry Gant in turn 1 as Gant and Dale Jarrett came together. Jarrett making the pass on the bottom side of turn 4, and now Harry Gant's heavily damaged Buick limping along the high side of the track out of turn 2.
That's it. Let's watch it again, Jerry, as they come off of turn 4. Jarrett gets a run on him down on the inside. They do touch a little bit. Harry gets into the wall, and Jarrett goes ahead. Michael Waltrip gets by, and so does Dale Earnhardt. Didn't take much when you come off of that turn, boy. It doesn't take much till your car's out of control.
One more angle here. Both the cars appear to be sliding. Here is Jarrett on the inside. Those cars do come together just ever so slightly. Both of them slide. Gant's car makes contact with the wall. Michael Waltrip, a tremendous move to keep from running into the rear of Harry Gant as his car bounced off the wall. And here is the heavily damaged car of Gant making her way down pit road as the Ed Whitaker crew stands by. Harry is coming very slowly down pit road. Let's check in with Benny Parsons.
Yeah, Jerry Punch, there's more than superficial damage to that car, because I'm standing down in the Michael Waltrip Pennzoil pit, and I heard the boom when he ran in the wall up there. So there's some heavy damage to that car. Right, John Kernan?
Yeah, Harry, you're exactly right. Harry pulls in. The crew takes a look at it. They have sent him back out. It looks like the left rear is pushed over just a little bit too far to the left, if you know what I mean. They are turning it. They're making a hard left-hand turn in a moment, as Harry will be taking that to the garage area. The Busch Grant National Garage is back on the back stretch of pits, so that's why he went down pit road. It appeared to be headed back out to the racetrack, but car just damaged too severely to continue.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing, John, is taking it over to the garage area, which you say the Busch Grant National Garage area is on the back stretch. Here is Jeff Gordon. He has come from 7th position after that unscheduled stop to get that ratchet out. He's now in there working on Dale Earnhardt. Gordon running 4th.
Dale Earnhardt, a 3-time winner here in Darlington in Busch competition, having won this race twice, including a year ago. Now he's trying to hold off the challenge of Gordon. Gordon pulls his Ford down to the inside off of turn 2. Will take a run at Earnhardt down the backstretch.
Yeah, it's not going to be hard for him to get around. His car is fast. Earnhardt going to hang up there on the outside, but he has to back off now as Gordon goes on the inside, takes over 3rd position. Let's see how long it takes him to catch the cars of Michael Waltrip and Dale Jarrett.
Now Todd Bodine is the red car just you see moving on the inside of Earnhardt. He is 2 laps down, showing in 12th position. Behind him is Phil Parsons in the car number 29 going by. And Earnhardt's car really skipping up very high in turn 1.
It is skating very high in that turn. Mark Martin was riding there in the car number 60. He's back up to 7th place now, but he's 1 lap down. There are only 6 cars on the lead lap now. Morgan Shepherd being shown in the 6th position.
Car number 60, you said, is Mark Martin. Back in 7th spot. He is a lap down. Dale Jarrett, your leader. Michael Waltrip running in 2nd spot. Jeff Gordon in third position, and here comes Todd Bodine. Remember the unscheduled stop he had for that tire change, losing all that valuable time, but he has one of the fastest cars on the track right now.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. If Todd gets around the car number 1 of Jeff Gordon, that's going to hurt Gordon in his efforts in trying to catch the leaders. But he didn't make it that time. Here comes Mark Martin down on the inside of Todd Bodine.
If you just joined us, Mark Martin was the pole sitter, a brand new track record. Had to start at the rear of the pack due to missing the driver's meeting. He lapped 33 cars to take the lead. Had a problem, a miscue in the pits. Both, not one, but both air wrenches failed as Jeff Gordon skitters a little bit coming off turn 2, and Martin had to go to the rear of the pack again, and now is fighting his way back toward the front. Still being shown a lap down now in 7th spot.
Yeah, he made a green flag pit stop, and look at him come on the inside on Todd Bodine. And boy, the car number 1 of Jeff Gordon seems to be having some handling problems right now, Jerry. Don't know if those adjustments helped him the way he needed for it to or not, but Martin had to back off, didn't get around Todd Bodine.
Moments ago, that car number 1 looked like a swinging gate there coming out of turn 2. Now as Todd Bodine tries to get to the inside, Jeff Gordon tries to hold the high route. Bodine on the inside. Right behind them, Mark Martin and Phil Parsons, as Bodine makes the pass in turn 3.
Martin has to back off again. He's not going to get up there and foul Jeff Gordon up. Those 2 cars are built in the same shops, or they're maintained in the same shops. Here comes Martin again down on the inside. Michael Waltrip right up on the back bumper of Dale Jarrett. They caught the Richard Baxter car the last time in turns 1 and 2. Jarrett had to back off, and Michael Waltrip is right there.
And Gordon's car is slipping up very high. And here's Michael Waltrip. As you said, Ned, Jarrett less than half a car length away from Dale Jarrett in the Interstate Batteries Chevrolet, the John Irvin prepared car. Ronnie Silver, the crew chief, from Michael Waltrip. And look at Mark Martin. Now, he is 1 lap down.
As Michael Waltrip gets loose. Here they come 3 abreast. Martin goes by on the inside. Here comes Phil Parsons down on the inside of the car number 34. That gave Jarrett a little bit of breathing room because Michael Waltrip was right there ready to try to make a pass.
Just 12 laps remain here as Mark Martin is trying to move on the inside of Dale Jarrett. Martin getting his lap back, and now he's in the lead lap. But laps are running out for Mark Martin. Obviously the quickest car on the racetrack, as he was our pole sitter with a new track record. And he now has moved by our leader, Dale Jarrett.
Yeah, no question, he is the fastest car on the racetrack right now. Jarrett not too worried about that part of it right now. Phil Parsons now moving up on Dale Jarrett. He just hopes that he can keep from making contact with any of those cars. Jarrett goes high, Phil Parsons comes low, and here comes Todd Bodine. They all have better tires on. Jarrett has the fresh right side tires, but remember these other cars have made green flag pit stops, so they were able to come in and get fresher tires, so they are in a little better shape. Now Todd Bodine goes around Jarrett, and that let Michael Waltrip catch back up with Jarrett again. See the yellow car coming into the picture there, and not far behind is the car number 1 of Jeff Gordon. We're going to have a race out of this thing at the end.
10 laps to go, this time by 137 out of 147 complete, and now Dale Jarrett slips up a little bit as Michael Waltrip tries to catch him. His car does a little bit of wiggle coming out of turn 2. First 3 cars right together. Jarrett in the 18, the 30 car of Michael Waltrip. And right behind him, the car number 1 of Jeff Gordon.
Well, we understand that the 18 car of Dale Jarrett has gotten very loose. He's trying to hang on.
Not the kind of racetrack you want to have a loose race car on. This tough old lady in black, they call her, the granddaddy of all super speedways. But Dale Jarrett, it's been one of his better tracks over the years, Dad. He's got 2 victories here, including this race 2 years ago.
Yeah, he likes this racetrack. He does run well here. Has not won this year in the Busch Grand National Series. Michael Waltrip hasn't won this year either. Jeff Gordon has. Look at Michael move in closer and closer as it move off of turn 2. Michael really picked up going into turn 1 that time. Jarrett car just not working down in turns 1 and 2.
This is where experience will pay off. Both these are veteran drivers, Dale Jarrett and Michael Waltrip. Michael Waltrip finished second in his car last September to Dale Earnhardt. He's followed a couple of Dales across the start-finish line at the end of this race. He win one for his sponsor, Pennzoil. And the Bahari Racing folks. 7 laps to go, and he slides up high. Michael Waltrip on the outside through, but Jarrett holds the bottom of the racetrack.
Michael really getting into turn 1 a lot better than Jarrett is. Jarrett's having to back off with that loose car going into that turn, and Michael just running all over him going into that turn. Now, it seems like through 3 and 4 that Jarrett is able to hold his own, and that would hold true to a car that's not handling too well.
Michael Waltrip, at 29 years of age, has 4 Busch Series victories to his credit. His last win coming in this same race car, the Pontiac, up at Dover, Delaware in June of 1990.
They moved away a little bit from Jeff Gordon. There you can see him coming into the picture. He's about 15 car lengths behind. There'll be 5 laps to go when they return.
This is the primary battle we're watching right now. Everything else is pretty much stabilized as we are 5 laps away. Make it 4 this time by. Next time by as laps are winding down. Dale Jarrett has not been to victory lane since August of 1991 at Bristol, Tennessee in Busch Series competition, and now he's trying to hold off Michael Waltrip on the inside coming down the backstretch. Waltrip takes the low line. Jarrett's up high, and we'll see if Waltrip can hold the line. He slides way
he'll
up
slide
across
high.
the track.
Jarrett will drive back under him, or try to, coming off of that turn, but did he get under him enough to make the pass coming back? I don't think he did.
And Michael Waltrip will hold the line. Now, remember, Jarrett's got to worry about Jeff Gordon right behind him as Waltrip now pulls away by about 4 car lengths in turn 1. Dale Jarrett wrestling with a very loose race car. Couldn't hold Michael Waltrip off.
Well, Michael's taken off now, so Jarrett was holding him up. He's just waiting for the right position. He set him up good in that turn 1. He kept going in high and finally got the run that he needed off of that turn. See, Jarrett picks back up on him through turns 3 and 4. But turn 1 and 2 is the one that's getting it.
It'll be next time by. Look at the 2 lap to go signal. Michael Waltrip, the Pennzoil Pontiac, the Ronnie Silver prepared car. Behind him, very loose race car. The Interstate Batteries color, and Dale Jarrett almost has the rear end against the wall. Coming off of turn 2. Michael Waltrip in a BSR Hess prepared machine. Billy Hess, the car builder. Mike Fryer, the engine builder for that Pennzoil team here in Busch competition. Remember, their V6 engine is 274 cubic inches. Next time by, the Pennzoil Pontiac will get the white flag. If he can hold off Dale Jarrett and Jeff Gordon, he'll get his first win in Busch competition since June of 1990.
There's going to be a car between them coming off that turn, the car number 24. And Michael's going to have it all to himself coming down for the checkered flag.
White flag waves for Michael Waltrip, 29 years of age, from Franklin, Tennessee. Has never won here at Darlington Raceway. Brother Darrell has won twice in Busch competition. Michael looking to get his first win in Busch Series competition and his first win in almost 2 years on a super speedway. Less than a quarter of a mile to go for the Pennzoil colors for Michael Waltrip. There's Dale Jarrett, 3 car lengths back. Michael waves to the crowd with the left hand, and he will take the victory. Jarrett finishes in second spot as they are celebrating in the pits, and rightfully so. It has been a long dry spell for Michael Waltrip and the Pennzoil team. Well, the Gatorade 200 is history here at Darlington Raceway, and Michael Waltrip will be making his way to victory lane. We'll come back and talk to him at Darlington after this. Back at Darlington Raceway, Michael Waltrip. You think it's been a while for Michael? They had to direct him to victory lane. Michael, take a left here and then take a hard right. And that Pennzoil Pontiac driver is going to be one happy customer as he is going to victory lane at Darlington for the very first time. A big smile from the 29-year-old Franklin resident. And yes, he indeed is pleased, taking home the lion's share of this purse today, some $151,980 in the Gatorade 200. Let's listen in as Michael gets a strong swig of Gatorade and now climbs out of his Pontiac. Let's go down to victory lane and talk with the happy winner.
Michael, way to break a drought.
Good job, Dave.
That's Chuck right in the car on it. Hey, been a long time, guys.
Man, if anybody ever needed a win, it was old MW. And just real happy to be in victory lane at Darlington. It took me forever to find it. I never had been here.
What do you mean you like to never found it?
I was turning left and right, backing up, going straight. I've almost gotten to this spot a bunch of times. And today's the first day we got here. I want to thank my sponsor, the Pennzoil Products Company in Houston, Texas, Jim Pate, Bill Welcher, all those guys. I want to dedicate this to my owner's wives. Pat is doing well. Brucey had a operation last week. That's Lowe's wife, and she's doing good. Just a lot of fun. Say hi to Mom and Dad, and hurry home and watch myself on TV win this race, Ben.
We're live, baby. We're not taped. We're live.
We're live? Yeah. All right. Hey, everybody. I'm on TV live. This is prime time. I got on my Pennzoil hat. Drinking some Gatorade. I won the Gatorade 200 thanks to Jeff and Bondo and Fox. Where's Fox? Fox ain't here. Fox, what's going on?
We're never bringing him to another Busch race. These Waltrps are all the same. I'm telling you.
I can't believe Fox ain't here.
No bandana.
Fox.
Oh, they grow them different up in Franklin, Tennessee. DW in victory lane last week at Bristol, and now MW, as he calls himself, Michael Waltrip, taking the victory here in the Gatorade 200. Lots of action coming your way later tonight as Jackie Sherrill takes the Bulldogs of Mississippi State, ranked 21st.